Okay. Let me talk about Mulgaonkar principles. Okay. Mulgaonkar principles in contempt of court cases. Okay. Mulgaonkar principles in contempt of court cases, very interesting. So, this was a case in 1978 called it is a Mulgaonkar case, okay, or that is how the Mulgaonkar principles came, 1978 case. And there was a landmark ruling on the subject of contempt of court, and this verdict was a 2-1 judgment, okay, and it was it's a majority judgment. 2 judges said something and the 1 judge said something else. Okay, this Mulgaonkar was the editor of the Indian Express. Okay, Mulgaonkar, or this was S. Mulgaonkar. He was the editor of the Indian Express at that time. Okay, S. Mulgaonkar was the editor of the Indian Express at that time. So, it was a 1978 case, and he was in fact, what was the case? He was it was in this 2-1 judgment, he was not guilty of contempt, although the same bench had initiated the proceeding. Okay. So, what has happened was that 3 judges were there in the in the bench at that time. The Chief Justice at that time, M. H. Beg. Then 2 more judges, one was Justice V. R. Krishna Iyer, and the third judge was P. Kailasam. Okay, M. H. Beg, the Chief Justice, P. Kailasam and V. R. Krishna Iyer were the 3 judge bench, and these 2 judges said some, they became 2, and M. H. Beg's verdict was 1. So, that is how the 2-1 verdict came, and the idea, or rather the case was that these Mulgaonkar, the case, what was the case? There was an article published in the Indian Express. He was the the chief editor, and in Indian Express, an article was written by a very famous journalist called A. G. Noorani. I am sure you might have heard about his name, A. G. Noorani, a fearless journalist, not like the Godi journalists these days who will be praising the government only, but we had some of the great journalists in our country. We have only talk about once upon a time we had all these things, but and fearless people. Okay. So, this Noorani, in an Indian Express article, he questioned some of the judicial decisions during the emergency period, because just after emergency, especially the habeas corpus case, a very famous habeas corpus case, or the ADM Jabalpur case. Okay, this ADM, I will come to that separately, Jabalpur case, or it is also known as the habeas corpus case. Habeas corpus case. I will talk about this case after this discussion. So, this Noorani, in his article, he questioned and he talked about, he mentioned about many of the judicial decisions during the emergency period, and this has displeased the Chief Justice at that time, Mr. Beg, or the judge, Beg, M. H. Beg was highly upset about this article. Okay. So, because Beg and all these people were part of the judgment at that time. Okay. So, especially in the ADM, this habeas corpus case and all, or the ADM Jabalpur case is otherwise known as the habeas corpus case. I will come to that. And this habeas corpus case and the ADM Jabalpur case is often it is termed as the darkest hour of Supreme Court. This habeas corpus case is today referred as Supreme Court's darkest hour. You can imagine a shame on the Supreme Court. That is why we call it as Supreme Court's darkest hour. Okay. So, about this article was written, I will come to that, please do not worry. So, then this justice, when at the time this habeas corpus judgment was given by five judges in, this was in 1976 during the, during the emergency time. So, that is how this case was there. And so this Noorani wrote an article about the conduct of the judiciary, almost similar to the case now what has happened with our Prashant Bhushan case. He commented, he wrote an article in the newspaper at that time about the judicial behavior and about the judicial decisions of these judges. And this Chief Justice at that time, he got offended, and they initiated a case again, in a contempt of court proceeding against the editor of the Indian Express at that time. And that is how this case has emerged, or rather we call it as the Malgaonkar case. So, when this case came up, 3-judge bench was constituted. This Chief Justice himself was part of the bench, and V.R. Krishna Iyer and P. Kailasam were the other 3 judges. Okay. So, that is the case. Now, what the V.R. Krishna Iyer and P. Kailasam did, where Krishna Iyer wrote the judgment at that time, it became the 2-1 judgment at that time. M.H. Beg had a different opinion, but Krishna Iyer and P. Kailasam had a different opinion. And what the Krishna Iyer said is, they fully agree. Justice Iyer said he agreed to the initiating of the contempt proceeding. So, he said he fully agreed to the initiating of the contempt proceeding. He said, yes, there is, the way it is written, it is scandalizing the court. This is criminal contempt, and for criminal contempt is for scandalizing the court. Okay. So, it is he agreed to the initiating of the contempt proceeding, as CJI Beg was fully anguished, but at the same time, that is where the interesting thing, but Krishna Iyer said, but at the same time, he did not support with pursuing that case, but Krishna Iyer did not agree to pursue the case, or did not agree to pursue or proceed further with that. He said there is a content, but no punishment. That is the kind of thing he has taken. So, this was similarly, there is another case at that time involving Times of India. Today, please do not talk about Times of India, I know. Today, they have been completely sold off for money, but Times of India also had a great track record in our country, especially during the emergency time and all. Even a similar case involving Times of India was decided just days earlier. Again, Kailasam and many other judges were there, and but in this particular case against Indian Express, the the Justice Krishna Iyer, Justice Iyer said that we have to look into 2 things. He argued in favor of harmonizing criticism with contempt. Okay. So, Krishna Iyer, Justice Krishna Iyer came up with a very interesting formula. That is why it is called the the whole thing. We are calling it as the new principle only, which was called Malgaonkar principle given by V.R. Krishna Iyer. So, we are talking about the Malgaonkar principle by V.R. Krishna Iyer. So, this was in news. Okay. Malgaonkar principle given by V.R. Krishna Iyer, especially this was discussed a lot during our Prashant Bhushan case. So, the Justice Krishna Iyer said we will initiate, but at the same time we will not punish. he argued, said that they are in favor of harmonizing the constitutional values of free criticism. So, what is that principle? He wanted to harmonize the values of free criticism, harmonize the values of free criticism by the press or anybody for that matter, and the need for a fearless and a crucial process and its presiding functionary, that means the judge, and the need. What is the harmony? The value of free criticism and the need for a fearless and crucial process and its presiding function. That means a fearless judiciary. Fearless judiciary. Okay. He said there has to be, he would like to harmonize the value of the constitutional values of free criticism, especially by the press, and at the same time there is a need for a fearless and a crucial process by the functionaries of the court, by the Supreme Court, by the judges. So, he said let us balance it. To balance it, what did he say? He said yes, the way Noorani wrote is a bit painful, and he should not have been writing that way. That is why I am initiating the process. But at the same time, Krishna Iyer said that since I value the free criticism also, we should be magnanimous in accepting the criticism. So, for that I am not punishing you. So, the court will act with seriousness and severity where justice is jeopardized by unfounded attack on the judges. Okay, he said, Krishna Iyer said, the court will act with full seriousness and full severity where justice is jeopardized by a gross and unfounded attack on the judges, and where the attack is calculated to obstruct or destroy the judicial process. Krishna Iyer said, we will act, and we will act fearlessly with full seriousness and with full severity if somebody is trying to obstruct or destroy the judicial process. But the court is also willing to ignore. Now, that is what that is where the wisdom of V.R. Krishna Iyer, that is why he was one of the great judges of this country. He said, he is willing to ignore by a majestic liberalism. Now, you said it, and then he said, by willing to ignore by a majestic liberalism. See, I always talk about liberalism, liberal view, a majestic liberalism. And he said, very interestingly, he said that, where the dogs may bark, but the caravan will pass. He said, where the dogs may bark, but the caravan will pass. Okay, if a caravan is going, the stray dogs, the street dogs may bark, but that should not be disturbing the caravan. Caravan should move, justice will move forward. That is what he said. Dogs may bark, but the caravan will pass. The court will not be prompted to act as a result of an uneasy irritability. It is an irritation. The way Noorani wrote in the article is an irritation, but the court will not be prompted. So, very interesting. He said, but the court will not be, the court will not be prompted to act. The court will not be prompted to act as a result of an uneasy irritability, as a result of an uneasy irritability. Only because you irritate me, only because somebody is barking. Very beautifully it is said, the dogs may bark, but the caravan will pass. That should be the spirit. So, yes, you cannot obstruct. Now, he also said, that is what he said, no, the court will act with seriousness and severity where justice is jeopardized, or if there is an unfound attack on the judges, where the attack is calculated to obstruct or destroy the judicial process, the court will act with seriousness and severity. But at the same time, by applying that majestic liberalism, he said, the dogs may bark, the caravan will pass, and the court will not be prompted to act as a result of an that irritability. And if you are trying to irritate me, I will not act. Only because you tried to irritate me, I may not be acting. So, that is what he said, and very interesting. And today, this is what exactly we expected from the 3 judge in a bench against Prashant Bhushan, but they failed in that test by offering 1 rupee punishment for him. The court would have said the same thing. Then we would have been comparing this judgment with the V.R. Krishna Iyer's judgment. And then we would have been talking about what Krishna Iyer said, at that time, it is 1978, that the Malgaonkar principle applied by Justice V.R. Krishna Iyer and by the other judge, P. Kailasam, would have been, bestowed on these judges also. But unfortunately, because, Justice Arun Mishra is not Justice V.R. Krishna Iyer, that is a problem. Okay. There is a huge difference between the characters, and they have taken a very different perspective altogether. So, this is what we call it as the Malgaonkar principle. Okay. So, by Justice V.R. Krishna Iyer, very interesting. And now, let me just add a couple of points about that, this justice, by that the ADM Jabalpur case or the habeas corpus case. Okay. And in fact, it was in news in 2017 once again. Okay. So, let me talk about the habeas corpus case. Or this ADM Jabalpur case. This case judgment, it was in a 4-1 judgment at that time. It was a 4-1 judgment, and this judgment was overruled in 2017. Okay. This 4-1 judgment was overruled in 2017. After 40 years, almost 40 years, and more than 40, it was 1976 case, after 40 years, and as I told you, the habeas corpus case or the ADM Jabalpur case is known as the darkest hour of Supreme Court, the darkest hour of Supreme Court. And where, what did they say? They said that the citizens have no right to life and liberty during emergency period. What was that judgment? When politicians, when the critics of the government were arrested and they were sent to jail, they went to the court, and the Supreme Court in a 4-1 judgment, they declared that there is no right to life and liberty. Okay. There is no right to life and liberty during national emergency. Today we know that this article 21, we are talking about article 21 here, article 20 and 21 cannot be suspended even during national emergency. So, this 5-judge verdict was overruled by a 9-judge bench in 2017, a 9-judge bench in 2017. So, what was ruled in 1976 was overruled by a 9-judge bench in 2017, and they condemned the decision of this infamous ADM Jabalpur case or the habeas corpus case, and they said that it was seriously flawed. It was a flawed judgment. That is what in 2017 they said. The 1976 judgment was flawed. It was a flawed judgment, and they, at the time, this habeas corpus judgment upheld the Congress government, the Indira Gandhi government's move to unlawfully detain citizens, including the political rivals during the emergency years. And at that time, 5 judges were there, and the 5 judges, including the Chief Justice at that time, A.N. Ray. Chief Justice at that time, A.N. Ray, then this M.H. Beg was there, who subsequently were part of that V.R. Krishna Iyer judgment. Then Y.V. Chandrachud. Y.V. Chandrachud. Then P.N. Bhagavati, another very famous judge, I mean subsequently who is considered to be one of the father of our PILs, I mean great luminaries, P.N. Bhagavati. But all of them were on the one side, and the only dissenting judge was Justice Khanna, H.N. Khanna. Please remember that in the in that 1973 Keshwan Bharati case also, that 7-6 judgments, Justice Khanna, H.R. Khanna. Okay. So, the only dissenting judge was H.R. Khanna, who said, and according to subsequently the history tells that only because of this dissent, Justice H.R. Khanna stood as a dissenting judge in many places, and that costed him the Chief Justice of India's post also. He was never elevated as the judge of the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. H.R. Khanna was overtaken, superseded. H.R. Khanna was superseded by this M.H. Beg subsequently, and that is M.H. Beg became the Chief Justice of India by 1978. That V.R. Krishna Iyer, the same Malgaonkar judgment. So, please remember, so this Justice A.N. Ray, the Chief Justice, M.H. Beg, Y.V. Chandrachud, and very interestingly, this Y.V. Chandrachud's son, he was writing, and he the present the D.Y. Chandrachud, okay, Y.V. Chandrachud's son is D.Y. Chandrachud, who is the judge right now. He will become the Chief Justice one day in the coming days. Okay, this D.Y. Chandrachud. Okay, D.Y. Chandrachud wrote the the 2017 judgment, overruling his father's judgment. Yes, see, Y.V. Chandrachud, A.N. Ray, M.H. Beg, P.N. Bhagavati, they became 4, and Justice H.R. Khanna was the dissenting judge in 1976 this habeas corpus case, whereby they declared that the government can arrest, and there is no Article 21 during national emergency. That is what they said. Now, when D.Y. Chandrachud, who wrote this dissenting judge, they overruled the 1976 majority judgment and removed a long pending taint on the court's history, and he became the people's champion, or rather they became the people's champion. And Chandrachud, writing for all the rest of the judges, he said the judgments by all the 4 judges constituting the majority in ADM Jabalpur case is seriously flawed. Life and personal liberty are inalienable to human existence. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud in 2017 wrote that life and liberty are inalienable. Okay, they said it is inalienable, inalienable to human existence. The life and liberty are inalienable to human existence. No civilized state can contemplate an encroachment upon life and personal liberty without the authority of law. Nobody, no civilized state can allow an encroachment on life and liberty. And he also said neither life nor liberty are bounties or other offers. Neither life nor liberty are the freebies given by the state, nor does the constitution create these rights. This life, the right to life has existed even before the advent of the constitution. Justice Chandrachud, D.Y. Chandrachud wrote against his father's judgment, overruling his father's judgment. That was in 2017. So, in fact, Justice Khanna, he also said, Justice Khanna stood against the government or stood up against the government, even at his personal cost, because he was never made the Chief Justice subsequently because of his, and in fact, he said, Justice Chandrachud said, the majority judgment in Jabalpur should never have been there. When histories of nations are written and critiqued, there are judicial decisions at the forefront of liberty, yet others have to be consigned to the archives. And he said, they said that Justice Khanna's dissent as one of the 3 great dissents in the Supreme Court's history. Okay, Justice Khanna's dissent is one of the 3 great dissents in the Supreme Court history. Is one of the 3 great dissents in the Supreme Court history. That was written in that judgment. Just see, that is, of course, that is written by Rohinton F. Nariman. Again, his father is another great luminary, the Bhishma Pitama of the Bar Council, Fali S. Nariman. His son is a judge right now, Rohinton Nariman, judge in the Supreme Court. He wrote that the Justice Khanna's dissent as one of the 3 great dissents in the Supreme Court's history. So anyway, so this was the ADM Jabalpur case. This is also another habeas corpus case of 1976, the darkest hour of judiciary, Supreme Court. And when it was criticized by A.G. Noorani, a case was filed against the the Indian Express editor itself. Contempt of court case proceeding started by the court under Article 129 at that time, under Article 129, the contempt of court case proceedings. And when Justice V.R. Krishna Iyer came up with his Malgaonkar principle, whereby he said, we will act. They initiated the contempt of court proceeding, but he refused to punish them. He harmonized the constitutional values of free criticism or the right to criticize by the judiciary, by the press, by the fourth estate, and at the same time need for a fearless judiciary. So he said, if there is an attack, if there is a serious, then the court will act very severely and with full seriousness if there is an attack on, or rather if anybody tries to obstruct or destroy the judicial process. But at the same time, through a judicial or a majestic liberalism, the court will not be prompted to act as a result of any irritability. Wonderful judgment, wonderful spirit. And you have to be magnanimous in your criticism, especially when you are holding some office. That is what this V.R. Krishna Iyer's Malgaonkar principle tells us. Very, very important. And in this context, why this criticism? Because of the ADM Jabalpur case or the habeas corpus case of 1976. It is the darkest hour of our Supreme Court. So everything was in news because of the Prashant Bhushan case. And in that test, let me be very clear, our judiciary failed miserably. And the 3 judges who sat and gave a judgment for 1 rupee punishment, they lost out in this game. They could have easily taken an example from V.R. Krishna Iyer, and they could have easily said that, yes, this is what they already knew this. I am 100% sure these judges knew what was that Malgaonkar principle. They could have easily done it. It would have been a much more magnanimous way of looking at the whole criticism. But unfortunately, so that means Supreme Court could have easily said, I reserve the right to initiate a contempt of court proceeding against you for the way you tweeted. But at the same time, I am not punishing you using my, what you call that, magnanimous or majestic liberalism. Okay. So that is the issue, and I am sure it has given some insight to this particular case, and it is a very, very interesting case which is going on. So, that's about it. And even the habeas corpus case, it is of use it may be you can use this somewhere else also. So that is how I have taken that up. So that's about this.